A follow-up is, Errol recently said that he knows how to dig deep, and he said that you're more of glass, that he doesn't think you can take the pressure. What is your response to that?
You're gonna have to show me.
Terence, Sean Zattel, FightHype.com. Terence, Errol is considered the A side coming into this fight, makes a lot of money.
Terence, right over here. Good to see you, Marcos Villegas, Fight Hub TV. What do you feel is one thing that they may be underestimating about you and the game that you bring in this fight?
A little bit of everything. Like one of the reporters just said, I'm glass. Like, okay, he's gonna break me. He's gonna bulldoze me. He's gonna do this. He's gonna do that. Okay, well, you're gonna have to show me, because all that is just like fueling the fire to the fire that's already burning. All the things that people saying, all the things that he's been saying, he's gonna have to prove that come fight night. And then that's when all the answers is gonna be answered.
If you had a choice, say whatever happens, and they give you a choice like, hey, you could either have the rematch at 47 or at 154, would you lean one towards the other?
I don't know. We have to see what he's gonna decide, because like I stated before, I'm winning this fight. So I'm not thinking about, what's gonna happen with the rematch. I'm winning this first fight, and then he's gonna have to decide what he's gonna do.
What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So we just said there from Bud. I love this confidence from Bud. Yeah? Over the pond in the UK, we got Dillian White and AJ. Not one of them, did you hear this? The reporter said to Bud, hey, do you want to do the rematch at 154? He said, after I whoop on Spence, he can have to decide. Do you know? Not even in his mind. This is what the old school had, in my opinion. The old school dudes didn't even think about losing like that. James, Tony, Hagler and Hearns, all them old school guys. Leonard. You don't even think of it. It's a certainty you're going to win. Obviously, we know people can be certain and still lose, but you've got to have that, I believe, to have any chance at greatness. And it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. We've seen AJ for years go in there doubting himself, and it's worked out super sad. Do you understand? There's a load of fighters who've, in the new age, corny fighters, just knocking around the place, providing no value and showing no belief. And really, the bottom line for this one is, people, this fight is truly, it's the best fight in the last, fight of the century for sure, best fight in the last 30 years. I think it's number one for me. Maybe even longer than that. A proper, when you think about the skill, when you think about the character of both men, in terms of resilience. Yeah, although, it has to be said, neither man really, though, has been tested. Spence was tested in the Porter fight. He didn't look too great. No, that's what I mean. That's what I'm backing. And it's a shame. I thought there'd be a lot more money going on Spence. The money's with Crawford, as it should be, in my opinion. But that never meant much, did it? Let's be real here. How many times has a favourite been beat? So this wouldn't be shocking to see Spence win. But it has to be said, Spence, arguably in his prime, had a tough fight with Porter. Spence had to redline to win that fight. He got a knockdown, a flash knockdown, and that kind of saved him. But let's be real here. I think it's Bud all day. Has Spence improved since then? Some people are saying he has. All I know is he had a tough fight with Porter, and he came back and got rocked and was out on his feet against Ugas. This should be pretty standard. Plus, Spence is a year older. Plus, Spence is already struggling at the weight. He's been struggling at the weight. However, having said that, I respect Spence even more, because all the factors I've just mentioned mean, really, he shouldn't be taking this fight. Spence could have ran up to 154 and hung out there. No. Almost against his own interest, he's taking this fight, so I salute him. And that's why I say, I'm backing Crawford to win on paper, but either man, whoever wins this fight, deserves it. And if Spence, fair play to him. Because for Spence to beat Crawford, he is going to be one bad dude. especially given all the handicaps he's got, in my opinion. However, the other side is, though, has to be mentioned, that Spence is a lot bigger. Crawford looked kind of small compared to Spence. Now, they're going to be the same weight on the night, or the same weight at the weigh-in, but them metrics mean something, probably. Well, we'll find out what it means. Honestly, man, probably in my whole life, I've never been this pumped to watch a fight, bottom line. This is the pinnacle. Anyway, back to the original video point. Crawford responding to Spence's claims on him being glass. I do think the reporter was potentially doing some stirring. Why? Well, from what I can find, if anyone can find the link, let me know. But I haven't been able to find any evidence that Errol Spence called Crawford glass. Now, Errol Spence did say, I'm going to break him. He's not tough like me. He didn't say he's... Glass is a connotation or a specific connotation used in boxing to mean your chin, got no chin. Yeah? Spence didn't say that. So the reporters are stirring, but still. Crawford said, you're going to have to show me how much glass I am. Come and punch the glass into me. Come make me break. Wow. That's what we want to hear, people. This is like 2 brick walls lining up together. Because whatever you say about Spence, yeah, he's not leaky, is he? Spence is a tough, rugged dude. And in them, 8-ounce gloves? I think it's 8. In 8-ounce gloves, yeah, Crawford's... both fighters have been rocked. Neither have been down, though. And it also has to be said, Spence, after having probably the worst round in his career against Ugas, came back that next round and stopped dude. He could have... Many a fighter have their worst round of their career, and they lose all their confidence. And they start backing up. Spence doubled down. Now, I've got a video coming later, but Sean Porter did kind of half touch on this. Sean Porter did say that a potential issue with Spence is he does get frustrated if it's not working out. However, I saw Spence getting frustrated against Porter. I saw Spence getting frustrated against Kell Brook. But he just seems to double down. He doesn't get frustrated and lose his head. He gets frustrated and digs in. Digs deeper. Not in a reckless way either. So really, it's 2 brick walls, people. There's no other way of looking at this. Same as Crawford as well. When Crawford was allegedly having a hard fight with Porter, he dug in. The difference is now, though, is the fact that we've got 2... There's very few fighters in the last 10 years, 20 years, I'd say an A-star. Honestly, I'd say Floyd is an A-star boxer. I wouldn't say he's all round. I wouldn't say he's all round, though. I wouldn't say he's well-rounded. I'd say Floyd had one way of beating you, if that makes sense. He'll go in there and he'll pot shot, and it worked. Fair play to him. But these guys, they can flak track. And even when they're boxing, especially Crawford, even when Crawford's boxing slick, I would have said, yeah, Crawford versus Avanesian, for example, was a slick boxing performance. And he knocked the guy out. Crawford wasn't in there just walking him down. He was almost doing a Floyd, pot shot in the pressure fighter, and then clipped him in between. Floyd couldn't do that. I'd say Avanesian is no different to Maidana. Similar kind of guys. I actually think, similar kind of guys. And you saw what Crawford did in there. And it wasn't just that kind of lucky punch. He was touching Avanesian all over. I've never seen Floyd do that in the last 10 years of his career. And bear in mind, Crawford's like 35. Do you get that? People say, oh, but Floyd was old. Crawford old. Yeah? So let's not use that one. Oh, but why be Floyd had to fight bums and go and take all night because no. Crawford's 35 as well. I think he's maybe even older. But either way, you get the point here. This is another... Floyd's one level, yeah? Floyd has one way of beating you. Pot shot and be boring. Crawford can knock your ass out without even trying. That's how it looked on this. Be real here. When he was putting it on Porter, he didn't knock Porter out cold, but when he put it on Porter, yeah, it doesn't look like he's forcing it. His hands are just flowing. And the same with Spence, to be honest. When Spence was bullying Ugas towards the end, them shots are heavy and they're just throwing. And they're thudding. And they don't stop as well. Both fighters have a propensity to throw heavy hands consistently. Something Canelo doesn't have. And that's why I'd say Floyd is an A fighter. I'd say Canelo is an A fighter. They both ain't A star. Why? Like I said, Floyd can only do one thing. Pot shot. Canelo really can only do one thing. He come forward and put heavy shots on you, but he runs out of gas quick. These two guys, another level in my opinion. And the winner of this fight, even if you say, oh, you're wrong, the winner of this fight will be a level above Canelo and Floyd in my book. Because Floyd, he never fought no one like this. He didn't, people. He just didn't do it. He didn't fight none of the boxers Floyd boxed were at this level, in my opinion. Maybe I'm biased towards my current generation, but let's be serious here. Who thinks Crawford or Spence would have a problem with 38-year-old Shane Mosley? Come on, people. Who here thinks... And by the way, I think De La Hoya beat Floyd. Floyd had no ideas. He was getting pushed around in that fight. And that was in the prime of his life. And De La Hoya was washed up. 50-50 fight. Floyd Sr. came out and said, I think De La Hoya won. And I think De La Hoya won. But I'm more biased towards pressure fighters. But either way, it was close. I think it was a split decision anyway. Floyd won a split decision against an old, finished De La Hoya. And you're telling me he's the GOAT? Get serious, people. What do you think Spence or Crawford would have done to that De La Hoya? Are you joking? Yeah? Crawford would have left him looking like Avanesian, I believe. Yeah? And Spence wouldn't have done much different. It's easy work. So, Floyd's best wins. De La Hoya, these two guys would dust De La Hoya. That De La Hoya in particular. Yeah? What was the other guy's name? 38-year-old Shane Mosley. Come on, people. Stop it. Who else is there? What's the other guy's name? Marquez. You see what I mean? You see where I'm going with this, people? This isn't no Floyd versus Marquez. This isn't even Floyd versus Prime Pacquiao, in my opinion. This is above that. Yeah, Floyd and Pacquiao in their primes is not this. Yeah, Pacquiao in his prime would, I believe both men, wouldn't knock him out, but I believe both men would, yeah, no problem with that. I don't believe. Victor Ortiz. In the prime of Floyd's career, he fought Victor Ortiz. Yeah? In the prime of Floyd's career, he fought Cotto. Now, these guys are good, solid fighters, yeah. They ain't Crawford and they ain't Spence. And they ain't... Floyd versus Cotto is not Spence versus Crawford. Floyd's career he don't know nothing about this one, is what I'm saying. Even if you go earlier into Floyd's career when he was like 27, he still weren't... It's not his fault, but he still ain't had this one. This one is the top. This is the Hagler Hearns, which Floyd never had, in my opinion. He never fought someone who was as good as him. I'm trying to think, what fight has Floyd been in that's 50-50? Yeah, I don't know. Apart from the one he lost against De La Hoya. Yeah? So, let's be serious here, people. And even in the prime of Floyd's career, what was the guy's name? It wasn't Corrales, it was the other one, the Mexican guy. But Floyd had to rematch him as well. I actually thought he won that fight pretty clearly, to be fair. I think Floyd's worst fight was De La Hoya. Anyway. Yeah, man. This is finger licking. I've never been so happy to get up at 4 a.m. for this one. Wow. Honestly. Yeah. I'm lost for words. Let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and let off the bell 100%, no doubt.